Today we're going to be talking about why you are struggling to get traction in your e-commerce store, especially if your store is newer or you're first starting out or you've been at it for a few years, but you're just not getting that traction. So we're going to dive into the reasons why that is and what you can do to fix it. And if you are new here, my name is Amy and I have sold over $5 million in my own product-based business. A lot of that, little hint here, was due to having a subscription inside of my business. In addition to that, I have sold out brands within 48 hours with organic content on social media. I have gone viral and sold over $10,000 worth of product in my own business. And I have turned myself into an Amazon influencer with consistent sales from videos that I've created over the last few years. And the list goes on. So if you are interested in growing your e-commerce store and actually getting some traction, hopefully you will consider subscribing. So let's dive in. The first one is going to be lack of customer connection. And there's a couple of reasons for this. One is the founders don't have a personal brand, which we'll dive into. Without the emotional branding, your customers are going to forget about you. They're not going to care about you as a store. So you're then turned into this transactional place. They just come to buy something and they leave. So you've got to connect with them on a deeper level. Keep this in mind. People remember how you make them feel, what their experience is. If they don't have an amazing experience, if you don't make them feel anything, if they come into your email list and don't feel anything, they're not experiencing anything, then chances are they're not going to come back. So the other part of this is not having a brand as a founder. So you want to communicate with people in video why you created your brand, why you do what you do, why you have the products that you have. You've got to really should have video in your FAQs, when your products are shipping out, the post-purchase email series, you should have video. They're connecting with people, behind the scenes content, as much content as you possibly can to connect those people to you and your brand and why you do it. So it's not just talking about your products, it's talking about why you sell those products, right? And go into the deeper reasons of why it is that you're doing what you're doing. So then every touch point then is your values, your personality, who your brand is and what you stand for as a brand owner. And I feel like this is probably one of the biggest things that people miss out on. And I've actually had business owners when I told them, like, you need more video on your website to get more conversions. And they don't want to do it because they don't want to show up. They don't want to be out there, like if it's not you, then you've got to pay somebody to be that person for your brand that's going to be representing your brand. I mean, even Geico has a lizard. People connect. They have to connect with somebody in order to care. If Geico didn't have its lizard, nobody would care. If Allstate didn't have Mayhem, nobody would care about the commercials. So there's got to be a story that you bring people through and a brand story that you bring people through in order to connect with your product and with your brand at a deeper level. The next one, if buyers aren't telling their friends, then your brand is not going to grow organically. And this happens to a lot of business owners because they don't over deliver. They don't have an amazing experience that people have. And so it's important that you focus also on the experience that people are feeling and how they feel when they get your products. And, skipping over that, then people aren't going to go, wow, I had this amazing experience and this is a product and look at what they did. You really are looking for that experience. So there's a number of ways that you can do this. It could be unique packaging. It could be something you put in the packaging. It can be a community that you build, a bonus gift. So it's got to be something that will cause people to talk about you and share with their friends. Next one is relying on paid ads and social media for all of your sales. So if you do this, there's no way you're going to be able to scale because the cost of ads are going to go up. Somebody's going to have a bigger budget than you. They're going to be able to outbid you, and you're going to be in this price war. You see a lot of people that did Amazon run into this. They're like, oh my gosh, I got a product out there and I've got these ads that are going, and my competitor is doing the same ads and they're just outbidding me and I'm losing this. And now there's no There's no margin there. I'm not even getting any revenue because the ads are so expensive. So you don't want to compete utilizing ads. And if you don't want to depend on social media because the algorithms change. The algorithm changes on a consistent basis across platforms. It just depends on what week you're in. And so instantly, all of a sudden, you can notice, oh my gosh, I'm not getting sales on this platform. Well, the algorithm probably changed, right? And so because these things can be cut off at any, SEO can be cut off at any time. You could be top of the rank and then AI takes over and guess what? All that traffic is gone. So if you depend on these things, you're really putting your business into a position that is not set up for long term. And here's the thing, if you are paying for every transaction, you don't have a business. And here's the thing, if you are paying with ads for every sale, you don't have a business, you have a transaction machine. People are there just because maybe you beat somebody else on price. And if that's the case, those people are not going to be loyal to your business and it's not going to scale. The best way around this is email marketing and building a community. So again, you want to get those people to connect with your brand at a deeper level, to understand your brand, to understand you as founders, why you've done what you've done, and start to see behind the scenes and the things that you believe in and your values and everything that you stand for, so that they can connect with you and support you at a deeper level and say, yeah, that's me. So you want to create a tribe. This is who we are. This is what we represent, right? And there's one guy that I really love, Ezra Firestone, who have done a lot of my training even in e-commerce through. And one thing that they do, and before Cindy had passed away, she was the representation of Boom. And if you don't know, they bring in over $50 million in sales every month. And that's who, initially I learned from. He handed me everything and said, here, go to town, right? And here's all my emails. This is what I do. And I'm very, very grateful for him being so generous, right? And what's really important is that you start to look at the community that he built around aging, and had her go out there and create this brand of promoting aging gracefully. And so everybody that purchased from them was all about aging gracefully. So you want to create a strong community around something that you stand for and get those people to connect. And then she would do it behind the scenes and connect with people on a deeper level, an emotional level. And there was video of her everywhere. Now, since she's passed away from cancer and they've had to change things, but that's a perfect example of how to really build a strong brand. Now, the next one is no repeat buyers. And you're going to be, again, beat up with the cost of acquisition. It costs 5 to 7 times more to get new customers than it does to get repeat buyers. The majority of your sales should come from your returning visitors. And so if you're always focused on the new people, that is not a good sign that you have a strong enough brand. And that is also a sign that you don't have a community and that you don't have any ecosystem built out to build that know, like, and trust and that brand loyalty. You're focused just on the transaction. So that's where the customer journey comes into play, and a lot of people glaze over when I say this, and I try to take them through strategy. In fact, I have a lot of people that like review strategy, or when I go through strategy, they just zone out. And they don't understand that what I am laying out for you when we talk about the customer value journey and the journey that you want to bring people on, you're building that brand, you're building that customer loyalty, you're taking people through a journey to not just know, like, and trust you, but then become part of your community long term. So then you can give them exclusive offers, you can do loyalty, VIP experiences, and you want to go after making them feel like insiders. And one of the things that I had done in my own business, where I sold over $5 million of products, was it was a subscription base. And so people would buy because they're part of the community. And I would have events, and I would have people attend those events, and everyone got excited, and they were excited about, bettering their health was the theme, and getting off of medications and utilizing these products I was selling to take their lives to the next level. And so it was a deeper reason as to why they were actually buying these products, and they purchased them on a continual basis because, you know, they were helping their lifestyle and who, you know, what they really believed in. So diving into something deeper and creating a program that is going to help people connect with your brand on a deeper level is really important. That's why I love this subscription model and some ways to keep people just tied into that, and offering things and offering bundles that are going to highlight the things that they care about. And then now let's talk about those of you that sell things that you can't put on social media. Like they have certain ingredients they're banned or whatever it may be. We all know what some of those things are. Or you have a new invention, right? New invention, or you can't post it. And you have to create a market for it. And you're going to have to dive deeper into why you have done things. You have to dive deeper into your story. You've got to dive deeper into more of the emotional content than just putting your product out there. Because at the end of the day, if you don't do that, people aren't going to be searching for your product because they don't know it exists, right? And if they kind of know it might exist, still, why would they buy from you versus somebody else? So you're going to have to go out there and create a market for it, but you're going to have to post content that has a story behind it, emotional story, your story, transformational stories, talk about their pain points, and then lead them to your store versus just posting product all over social media. So, and then the next thing is you're posting content and people are ignoring it. And the reason why they ignore it is because there's no emotion attached to it. And this is probably a big thing that everyone misses out on, is that they don't realize that all your content has to have some sort of emotional connection. If there's no emotion, if there's no curiosity, if there's no disruption, people aren't going to care. They're going to just scroll past your stuff. And it's really, you're out there, you're competing against everybody else's content. And a lot of times it's easy to think, oh, I'm not competing. I'm just posting my stuff and people will see it and like it. But the truth is that every post you make is competing with the one next to it. So if your content is not better than the one next to it, guess what? So, you know, it's important to look at your followers. Even if you have a small follower base, what other pages are they following? Are they following stuff that is creating content better than you? How can you compete with that content? And generally it's going to be the emotion, right? It's going to be that disruption. Pain point and transformation. Pain point, transformation is going to be your formula to success. If you are like all the other brands and you have nothing that's different about your brand, you're just going to compete on price. So nothing unique about your brand or your service or your experience. The only thing that you end up doing is discounting things and your margins start to shrink. So if your brand doesn't stand out for something meaningful, something impactful, then nobody's going to care about it. They're just going to see it as a transaction. So at that point, you have to think about, what can you do that nobody else is doing? What can you put together that is unique to your brand, that you can make yourself different? It could be a signature bundle, it could be exclusive kit, it could be a unique guarantee, and then you just build your marketing all around that. So you want to be different than everyone else. You don't want to just be apples to oranges. Otherwise, you're always going to be fighting on price. About lack of customer connection. We've talked a little bit about this, but if there's no emotional branding, if there's no connection to you as a founder, if there's no deeper reason of why I should be buying from you, then people, again, just see apples and oranges. They just see you're going to be compared against Amazon, right? After they purchase from you, and then they're going to forget about you. They don't care. They got what they wanted, now they're gone. Then they're just thinking it's just another product, it's just another Amazon, it's just another Shopify, whatever. And then you're not keeping those people around and building your business. Again, you want to focus on building your brand as a founder and getting people connected to you on a deeper level. And here's the last thing that I want to mention is that when you have a strong brand, you can charge more. you can charge more on everything that you do because people are buying from you, not just because of what you sell, but because your brand has a deeper meaning. And so that's why it's so important when you're starting out your store to really focus on establishing that brand, your story, videos, so that people emotionally connect with why you do what you do. And it's got to be something deeper than just, here's a product that everyone loves and will buy, and hey, everyone else is selling it, right? So spending time on this might not feel like, it might feel a little bit like, oh, I don't want to focus on strategy because I just want to go out there and post. I just want to get some sales. But the reality is nobody's going to buy from you if you don't have the right messaging. So the messaging also has to be on your product pages, and it's got to be, all your product pages have to tell the story, the transformation, and your emails have to get people connected and emotionally deep and deeper into your story as a founder and why you built what you built, and your content's got to be deeper. Otherwise, you're just putting products out there and people are going to connect with the products. So it's very, very important to dive deeper into this. And then with the product pages, instead of it just being a transactional thing, that you actually dive deeper into the transformation you're going to deliver, the problems that it solves, what they can expect afterwards. And all of this is bringing people through the sales process. And so when you then finally start to do all of these other things, like run ads and start putting money behind it, you know that your revenue is going to grow because you have that foundation in place. And you're going to start to get a lot more buyers and repeat buyers if you focus on this. So, there's one example of an amazing guy that did this that I worked with. He was an amazing sales guy, and he had this amazing, e-commerce store and e-water, and he would go out and do all of these conferences everywhere, and he was speaking on why he does what he does. And part of it was losing a loved one in his life to some of the things that his product solved. And so he would go out and he would do all these conferences and sell and sell and sell and sell, and that's why his business took off. And they actually came to me when he had moved on to a completely different product and wanted to do something else, and we're like, help, because the brand was dependent on him. And so I had to revive a lot of the stuff that he had that was recorded in order to kind of get those people back into the circle of things. And so that's how powerful a brand can be. And if you really focus in on it and showing up for your brand versus just being another Amazon and just a place to have a transaction, and really create an experience for people and some place for them to belong, your business is going to really skyrocket. And if you need help with this, make sure to check out some of my programs that I offer in my courses to help you to get your business to the next level. And as always, take advantage of the Thrive Audit if it is open right now. At the time of this video, I have it open, but it is open only for a short period of time for those of you that want to get a free marketing strategy. All right, guys, so thanks so much for listening to my video, and we'll see you next week.